Tupac, when he passed away, I was so curious. I said, what happened to this guy? Who was behind it? You know, the whole thing with the fight, you know, he's at your fight. He's going to get to the fight. I think you guys were supposed to spend some time together. And then I interviewed Greg Kading. And if you know who Greg Kading is, Greg Kading, are you familiar with Greg Kading?
No.
Greg Kading, if you can pull up his Wikipedia, Greg Kading is the guy that... he's the guy that was doing the investigation on Tupac.
Yeah, I remember this.
Okay, so
they had a little television show about this.
Yes, you're right, absolutely. And he was known as the multi-law enforcement task force that investigated the murders of rap stars Tupac and Biggie. That's the Wikipedia story about him, right? So I said, so who was really behind this? So in the video, when I interview him, you know how somebody's trying to arrest him? Like if you've seen the movie American Gangster and they got these pictures. Is this the guy at the top? Is this the guy? So I have 50 different pictures with magnets, and he's putting these things up on. If you go to the video, you'll see how I set it up. Put Greg Kading by David. And I said, who is really the guy behind it? He says, well, we first thought it was this. Then we first thought it was that. And we first thought it was this. And everything's going. Then at the end, the conclusion, after multiple conversations with him and different people, it came down to Biggie. And to me, there's so many right there. If you can just zoom in, that's the way we had it. So we're kind of going back and forth to see who was behind the guys that killed Biggie, Tupac, Easy. I'm a hip hop guy. I grew up to all this stuff with NWA. This is my, like, you know, Straight Outta Compton was a movie I watched God knows how many times because I listened to all of that stuff. I'm an LA kid. So why is it that so many people in music and Hollywood fear this guy, Diddy, as if he's untouchable, and even the...
Well, Sugar Diddy.
Diddy, not Diddy, not Sugar.
You said Biggie, but you meant...
I'm sorry, I meant to say Diddy, not Biggie.
Well,
Diddy.
if you punch in on the picture here, you see Diddy, you see Suge Knight, and then a lot of their cohorts down there, but Tupac and Biggie at the top, as you were, Pat.
Yeah, so what is it? I mean, everybody's in there. So what is it with Diddy that so many... T.I. called him out. 50 Cent said one time, on Charlemagne God's podcast, you know, Breakfast
Club.
He says one time Diddy said, hey, let me go buy you some clothes. Let me take you shopping. He's like, well, you want to take me shopping? What are you talking about? So T.I. called him out. 50 called him out. But some people are afraid. What do you know about? Because some people are talking about there's Diddy involvement with Jamie and something happened because he was calling him out for some of the parties he was putting up. Is there anything you have opinions on Diddy? Have you had any experiences with Diddy?
No, just I knew him for a long time.
Got it. And with you, he was chill. He was good. He was
awesome guy.
Yeah.
I knew him before he was Diddy. And I knew him for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him. I remember him. He used to have crates when he used to have my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties. I remember
This
him.
is when he was the CEO founder of Bad Boy.
No, I don't
Biggie.
think he was Bad Boy yet. No, he wasn't him. Damon Dash and all those guys. They weren't on yet. I was like the first street guy that really got on. You know, I'm talking about the guy doing crime in the streets that became a television guy, and everyone knew he was a celebrity. He had fancy cars. I was the first.
This is all in Brooklyn.
I'm the first of our generation of that crew. You know, the street hustlers that really blew up like that.
And you guys all knew each other.
Yeah,
it's the same era.
Listen, this young lady that works for my company, and she started saying names to people I remember when I was 11, 12 years old. And it baffles me that you think you got away from these people. You'll never see them again. You knew them when you were at the worst of your level or heard about them. And you're not the only one God had his hand on. These guys made them successful too. And just to know them and see them at this level of the game is just mind-boggling. I mean, it's really... you're almost like proud in a way when you see them. You know what they experienced in life, and now they became respectable citizens.
I guess it's you know, how you're in a class of 82 or class of 90, whatever. You're all coming up. You kind of seen who made it from your class. I guess that's how to see it when you're coming up from the streets.
Yes.
At the same era. Who else were the guys that during that time that made it big out of all of you?
Listen, there were some rappers that people didn't know about that made it real big, and not just from rapping, but from writing. And it's just, listen, I come from Brownsville, Brooklyn, very competitive. You know, normally either you succeed, probably 60% of the people don't have their high school diploma. It might be more, but it's just a school. It's just a neighborhood for people that normally fail. It's just a failing. If you don't have sports, you're not a lawyer or whatever. Yes, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna do well. You know, it's very competitive, very dog eat dog. People who are your friends at one time, next thing you know, they turned on you. Come over to the house, I need to do something for me, man. Or they go over your house and they kill you and rob your house for your drugs and stuff. These are people you was in a sandbox with. When the drug game,
Michael Franzese is nodding over here because he knows this.
When the drug game started in the early 80s, you know, when that started, the people that you were robbing with, your friends with and everything, next thing you know, you got different gangs and you're shooting. All these gangs, we all grew up together. All the people in his gang, all the people in the gang over here, some of them are related, and now they're killing each other. We were all friends. We grew up together. We used to rob and steal together, go to shopping together with the robbing money, smoke our weed, drinking together when we were kids. And next thing you know, I went over to my house after I'm doing good in this boxing stuff. Wasn't champion, but almost. I was making money. So somebody gets shot, I go to the hospital to see him, and then somebody else got killed. So I go to the funeral to see him, but the guy that went to the hospital is the guy that killed my friend I'm going to the funeral for. I'm sure you understand. I'm at my friend's, I'm crying that my friend is in this hospital, he's shot. And next thing you know, I'm going to my friend's funeral, but he shot my friend. It's crazy, right? It's really crazy, yeah.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.